With us their Tosca journey. So we have first Prashant Sangoi, who would be sharing us his Tosca journey here, and I think he's ready, right? Ready?
Fully. If yeah, I'm ready.
Great. So best. Yeah, just a minute.
Prashant, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Uh, so, do you know why I wanted you to present this session?
Not. I mean, you asked me, and I'm here, right? You invited me here.
Okay. So all of you who have made it, okay. I've seen many transformation journeys, but to see transformation in the true agile way, I felt like if Prashant doesn't do it, this forum will miss something very important for all of us to learn and see. So, I'm thankful to Prashant that he agreed that he will do this session for us, okay, and the rest he will speak about, but I am sure you will take back a lot of things which you will remember. Thank you, Prashant.
Thanks, Apru. Okay. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. What I'm going to share today is our journey of being agile with automation. Automation today, you all must have heard throughout the day, it plays a very important part. And it is something which is required, and all enterprises, and specifically big banks like us, we cannot live without that. What I'm going to do here is, attach automation with agile and agile mindset. So I have practiced agile from last 10 years, been in this industry for last 20 years. I may not look that old, but I am. So, okay. So what we do, right? I'm primarily a delivery head for the GLCM business. What is GLCM? It's Global Liquidity and Cash Management. What we do is we manage money of big corporates. All corporates like Amazon. This keeps on coming. Corporates like Amazon, big global corporates. We manage their money across the globe. Our presence is in more than 50 countries as a bank. We are a global bank, and we are one of the leaders in the whole global liquidity and cash management business. It's a very fast and continuously innovating and a growing business. You all have already using, at a retail level, we use UPI. So India at the retail level is really a leading in the market, leading in the whole world. It's setting the standards for other countries to follow, even the developed countries to follow. But what we are talking about here is more about the corporate business, the commercial banking and the global banking businesses. Okay. Technology is very important because for the business products to be innovative, to really appeal to the customers, technology plays a big role. So when we talk about virtual account management, UPI is a small retail example of it, and we do it at very large corporate levels. So my whole project and what I'm going to talk about is the next generation virtual account management, which we serve to our global partners, our global customers. And that's the whole journey I'm going to share my automation journey and how we went agile with the whole automation journey. So what were our challenges? If I look at the overall development and implementation, we used to take around 2 months of manual testing cycle. Manual regression testing used to take 3 weeks. We had lengthy manual deployments, error-prone manual deployments, and less reliable product. These are standard problems that probably most of the banks or most of the large enterprises are having today, or they were having, right? So primarily our long time to market, so any product that we want to deliver, it used to take really long. The business always asks things as of yesterday, and technology point of view, we're not 100% ready, and this is not today, this is something that in the past, before we started this whole automation and agile journey. And we were inconsistent in our quality. Manual testing, however, the knowledge of the people is good enough, it is still not 100% reliable, right? There are variations in manual testing, and we all are aware of that. I mean, I don't have to repeat it. So this is what our challenges were, and how do we handle these challenges? Primarily, we adopted the whole agile mindset. So joined HSBC last year in October, and we straight away went into an agile transformation. So everything in agile, right? The business and the customers are at the core of the things. Without the business alignment of the whole team, nothing works. Because eventually you're looking at the customer value additions that you give to HSBC customers, to our customers, right? So at the core of this whole mindset, we are the customers and our colleagues. Because the ways of working is very important. When we talk about agile mindset, and I don't say agile is a methodology. I am very against stating that agile is a methodology. Agile is a mindset. Agile is a way of life. You being lean, you being agile is how you live, how you carry on yourself in a day-to-day work. That's what agile is all about. So ways of working is a very important aspect of agile, and that is something that we worked on as a first thing, right? And along with ways of working, what we worked on is the automation and standardization. So the more we automate, the better culture we create, the better opportunities we give for our team members to really learn, to grow, and to innovate. Because eventually we are technology, we are engineering. We are not here to do the mundane manual task, right? So the whole purpose of our journey on this automation was to give a better environment for the entire team. And then continuously measure ourselves with respect to how, the customer output or the business output that we are giving. Because that again fits into the business alignment, right? Because our customers are at the center of our entire thinking. And how do we do that? So the first aspect of ways of working that we adopted was we created multi-skilled pods. We don't have a separate testing tower or a separate automation tower. It's primarily a multi-skilled pod which takes end-to-end ownership. This is a big aspect of agile which is abused sometimes. You'll have organizations or you'll have teams which will have a separate testing, a separate BA, a separate developer pod. And then they say we are agile because we are using certain SDLC tools which agile kind of thinks about. But that's not real agile. What we really talk about is self-sufficient dev pods. So primarily they are very closely working with the business and the business product owners. And they have the view of what the customer wants out of this whole thing. So it creates a deeper relationships between business and IT because they are independent. I don't participate in any of their scrum teams or meetings or at all because they make the decisions on the ground. And that's why they are self-sufficient, not only from the skill set perspective, but also making decisions which impact business. And that's a very critical aspect, and they are aware of it, right? Primarily automated standard DevOps tools. So DevOps tools or automating is a part of Agile. It's not complete Agile. And most of the times people get confused that if we are doing so many SDLC tools, we are Agile. And that's the confusion that is very prevalent, right? And it's the abuse that happens. We build it, we run it, we do the production support, the pod does everything. So end-to-end ownership lies with that pod. So they don't just fire and forget. They own it and take it to closure, right? And take it a continuous improvement journey. And again, the co-location of the teams to deliver the end-to-end solutions. And at the same time, they build a very good trust factor with the business product owners and the actual sales teams of HSBC. Because that's where, the shift left comes in. And most of the problems in the banks in history, I've worked in banks for last 19 years, and most of the problems have been in our requirements. And these end-to-end pods have helped us really, attack the most problematic area, which is to understand the requirements to the core and then really work on that and take it end-to-end. So that's on the ways of working. Very important aspect of being agile. The next important aspect of being agile is design thinking with customer at the center. When I say design thinking, we are a technology team and we focus on engineering and design. And that's where we want to stop doing the daily mundane, kind of task where you're coming and doing the login and seeing whether the login is working or not. We don't want our engineers to do that. We want our engineers to create that automation and then work on more innovative things. And the entire automation that we have done is totally based on the customer experience. It is not the way the standard testing is done, where you are doing a system or an application testing. It is primarily here we are testing the customer experience. That when a customer is logging into our application, what he will actually see and what he wants to see, how the journey should be. And we made the engineers understand that journey. We gave that context to them. And that's what helped us, because they started thinking like the customers of HSBC rather than a tester. And that was very critical, because that helps us do the automation in the right way. That doesn't, take the manual testing and just script it to automate it. We are not doing that. What we are doing is making them understand what the business is, and how they should automate is something they will tell, because now they'll relate to it. Complete automation, we did not only the test automation, but we did our entire DevOps automation. We have like one-click deployment, and now we want to move towards no-click deployments. So that's what we aspire to do. We are in the journey of doing that. And the last lever that we used was shift left. So think test first. And that's where we used, and we decided to use Tosca, because it gives us a very good tool to really do a behavior-driven development, where it is more business-oriented. And even business users, we have given a demo to them, and they are very much on board to start using it. And they have, in fact, the UAT team we have started our KTs for the UAT and the users to start using Tosca and themselves. And what they're excited about is the next journey, where they want to put it into the operations. And I'll talk more about that when I'll talk about Tosca particularly. And what was our approach to this whole automation, right? We didn't start, as I said, we didn't just start scripting whatever test cases we had. We created a framework. And the next slide will talk more about that framework. So we, in fact, spent around 3 to 4 weeks. And we have our team members out here, our partners. We partnered with Infosys on that. We have them here, and they will understand what I'm saying. We spent 3 to 4 weeks on the design, on the framework. How do we want to approach this? We are not just blindly starting the scripting part. How do we want to really approach this? And then the team came up with the template designing and creation, right? The whole design around templatizing the whole stuff. And Tosca gives us very powerful tools to do that. So how do we templatize it? And then we do a feature-based, story-based testing. And once we do that, we get it reviewed by the business. Because eventually everything is business-oriented, right? So the business reviews it, they sign it off, so that we don't do the same thing again on the UAT or a business acceptance perspective. And that's the advantage of doing this whole thing. And then obviously continuously improve, because Agile is all about keep on raising the bar, keep on improving, right? Don't stop. And that's where the automation, the innovation continues. Next slide, I wanted to share this very beautiful diagram. It's the reusable and the scalable test automation framework using Tosca that we have created in our application. And the important aspects of this is, as it says, reusability and scalability. So what we have done here is we scripted the modules, that standard modules that Tosca provides, and then created reusable test blocks out of it. And then also templatized each of those test cases. Why do we need to templatize on each of the test cases? Because we are a global bank. This application is a global application. One single platform which will serve maybe 50 or 60 countries, or different HSBC banks, entities in 50 or 60 countries. And we have to roll out all these countries as go live, right? And onboard our customers on that. So we didn't want this to be every time we want to roll out, we script again. No use of automation if that's what we use automation for. How do we use automation is also equally important. And that's where we have templatized the whole stuff. So if a new rollout needs to happen now for a country, and if there is no new feature that we have to implement in that new country, then that can just be done by instantiating the templates that we have already designed in our global implementation. So that's the most powerful thing that's come up with this design. And so tomorrow, if I want to go live in Malaysia or India with this proposition for our customers, it will not take more than 5 days or maybe 2 weeks at the max for me to complete the testing. So my entire testing will be all about providing the data in those templates, the input data, and that's it. The scripting is done, the execution lists are ready, the whole customer journey is ready from the point they log in to the point they see their outbound statements. So that's the beauty of this framework. And we are using those same execution lists which are user stories in the smoke test, in the regression test, in the feature test. So again, a lot of reusability comes into picture. Unfortunately, if you can, yeah. Unfortunately, today we are our application is on an old UI technology, and we are moving towards the new HTML5, Angular, and all those technologies. So even that aspect has been covered in this design because it's all object-oriented. 70% of our entire scripts and the scripting that we have done is reusable even with the new version of the UI. How it is reusable is only the UI fetching part will change, but except that, everything else will be reused. So when we are moving on to a new version of our application, we are going to 70% reuse the whole automation that we have done in Tosca. And that's the beauty of this, right? Again, we have many components in our application because it's not a straightforward, there are payables, receivables, you have FX rates, interest calculations. All these aspects of our application are cross-component integrated in our test automation framework. So it's an end-to-end thing. And the entire data creation is simulated. So what our user needs to do is just provide the data in those templates, and the rest all is already available for any new rollout. Right? Similarly, if we are building new features, we are building the new features with the same mindset and the same design. So that's the entire Tosca design that we wanted to share. And the last is, what are the main business needs and how this whole automation and being agile has helped us meet these requirements. So the business needs new feature. They want the new features as of yesterday. And they need new country rollouts for this particular business to go. With 100% test automation of our entire SIT and regression test using Tosca, 90% of UAT test cases coverage, because there are some exploratory things that users keep on doing, and which is still there as a 10%. And 100% automation of data simulation and cross-component integration. And along with the CI/CD pipelines, which are fully automated, we have actually reduced our testing cost by 75%. What has happened is we invested in the automation as an initial thing. It has reduced, it's a big business case where we've reduced our testing cost 75%. Our entire testing is consistent, stable, and reliable. Any day we want to test, we can test the same thing repeatedly. It's really quick and reliable deployments. They are not error prone. Increased capacity. What has it helped us do is we are rolling out 2 more countries and 3 more features this year because of this reduction. So what has it enabled to do is deliver more business value. Stable production. In fact, after this automation has been completed, we have not yet had any production defect as of today. So that's a big aspect of this automation, right? What value are we adding to our business? Because the more stable the production, the better the business grows. And that's very important. It adds global business value. As I said, we are rolling out more. We are rolling out 3 more features which we were not supposed to, and with the same capacity. So that's important. We reduce the defect fix cycle because we are shifting left. We can identify the defects on day 1. In fact, there are many examples where we developed a new feature, and the first day we identified that there is a regression impact on something else. And therefore, we did not go live. We fixed it, and then we went live. So it's very important how automation helps us do that. And very short release cycles, our release cycles have gone down by 80%. So if we were taking 10 days, we are now taking 2 days to release a feature. So very important aspects, and this has helped to get the trust further enabled with the business and really take it away. So that's all from my side, and I wanted to share my journey with Tosca. I'm not a Tosca expert. I'm not a Tosca practitioner. I'm basically a Java J2E developer from last 20 years and an enterprise delivery manager. But this has been a very short 7 months, my introduction to Tosca, and it has been really useful, and I wanted to share this with the audience. So thank you for the patience listening, and if there is any question, I'll be ready to take. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you so much. Now, when you said like this was just for since 7 months, you got this journey, and then it's like impressive. 7 months mein itna journey, and then again you stepped forward and then you participated in this thing. So thank you so much. I would request Rekha to come forward and present Momento to Prashant.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate it.